Greetings and welcome to the 4th showcase episode of the Morrowind Modathon month-winning mods, a month-long modding competition throughout the entire month of May, where each week 2 to 3 participating mods get selected to win prizes. Today we have the second winner of the second week of the Modathon, Buff Clipping aka Overbuff Kickback by SV Engineer 99. There were also 2 other mods that won during the second week of the Modathon, and of course, we'll be showing off the results of the third week pretty soon. We are coming pretty close to the grand finale here. You have until the end of the day on June 5th to finish submitting your mods for the competition, and after that we should have the results from our panel of judges for the mod of the month in a couple of weeks. But anyway, focusing on buff clipping here, this is a rather technical and sort of gameplay rebalancing mod that essentially puts a soft cap onto the amount of fortify enchantment effects that you can have at one time. When you start up the game with this mod, you'll see a little pop-up that asks you if you want to turn on buff clipping, and of course you can have the option to turn this on whenever you want. And you can see a list of caps per attribute and enchantment effect by hitting the / key. This naturally requires the latest version of the Morrowind scripting extender, last released in late 2015, and in any event with this mod enabled, when you take potions or constant effect enchantments that push you beyond a certain limit for each of your attributes, you'll start experiencing Overbuff Kickback, which starts out with a little fatigue draining, but if you keep trying to overbuff your character beyond what your base attributes can handle, the effects will gradually get worse, including getting knocked down from fatigue withdrawal, eventual health loss, which starts out as fairly minor, but eventually gets more severe, and if you keep it up, you could die from these overbuffs. This helps rebalance a particular exploit in Morrowind, where you could, for example, take 10 bottles of Cyrodiilic brandy at once and basically fortify your strength attribute to godlike powers without any real consequences. Now if you try and do that, you risk losing fatigue and health and, of course, potentially your life if you just keep it up. Now something else to note here is that this is all based on your base personality attribute. The greater your base personality, the more buffs your character can handle. So if you want to fortify strength, for example, at a personality level of 30, you can only fortify your strength by 32 points at maximum. But at a personality level of 100, you can fortify your strength by a maximum of 50 points. The base level of each attribute also plays a slight role in how much you can end up fortifying it before running into overbuff kickbacks, and this helps give personality, one of the less useful attributes, some additional purpose, at least according to the author's readme file anyway. And overall, this is just an interesting gameplay rebalancing mod that tries to tone down one of Morrowind's most used exploits, and this might be something you want to try if, you want a bit more of a challenge, or just think that Morrowind is a bit too exploity, which of course it is, but, minor detail. You can download buff clipping from the Nexus today, and of course we still have one more winner from the second week of the May Morrowind Modathon that will be showcasing soon, and in the meantime, you still have about 3 to 4 days to get your Modathon month's mods released. So, best of luck to everyone, and I'll see you all next time with our next batch of winners.